ओम जय स्वाहा माता।
नजरिया लग जाएगी मोरे कान्हा को कोई मत देखो नजरिया। नजरिया लग जाएगी मोरे कान्हा को कोई मत देखो नजरिया। लग जाएगी मोरे कान्हा को कोई मत देखो नजरिया। नजरिया कृत मुकुट मकरा कृत कुंडल कृत कुंडल कृत मुकुट मकरा कृत कुंडल ये कलंके पे नजरिया लग जाएगी। ये कलंके पे नजरिया लग जाएगी मोरे कान्हा हो मोरे कान्हा को कोई मत देखो नजरिया। लग जाएगी मोरे कान्हा को कोई मत देखो नजरिया। नजरिया माखन खाए और चुरावे माखन खाए रे माखन खाए और चुरावे ये राधे को नजरिया लग जाएगी। ये राधे को नजरिया लग जाएगी मोरे कान्हा हो मोरे कान्हा को कोई मत देखो नजरिया। लग जाएगी मोरे कान्हा को कोई मत देखो नजरिया। नजरिया बंसी बजावे धेनु चरावे बंसी बजावे धेनु चरावे ये गैयन पे नजरिया लग जाएगी। ये गैयन पे नजरिया लग जाएगी मोरे कान्हा हो मोरे कान्हा को कोई मत देखो नजरिया। लग जाएगी मोरे कान्हा लग जाएगी मोरे कान्हा को कोई मत देखो नजरिया। नजरिया नजरिया
बोले वृंदावन श्री कृष्ण चंद्र की जय। Devotees, I would like us to concentrate on Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Visualize him in any posture that you like to see him. Whether it's Bal Mukund, the youthful Krishna, adult Krishna, or because of the occasion, if you can visualize that child about 7-8 years of age, uplifting that mountain, left hand small finger. Can visualize that scene, whichever appeals to the mind. Recite in your minds, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We perform Krishna Ashtakam. Om Tat Sat Sri Ganeshaya Namaha, Sri Saraswatyaya Namaha, Sri Govindaya Namo Namaha, at Krishna Ashtakam. Om Chatur Mukhadi Sangstutam Samasta Satvatanutam Halayudhadhi Sanyutam Namami Radhikadhipam Bakadi Daitya Kalakam Sagopa Gopi Palakam Manohara Sitalakam Namami Radhikadhipam Surendra Garva Bhanjanam Viranchi Moha Bhanjanam Vrajanganan Ranjanam Namami Radhikadhipam Mayura Pichamandanam Gajendra Danta Khandanam Nishanka Kansha Dandanam Namami Radhikadhipam Prasanna Vipradarakam Sudama Dhamakarakam Suradrumapaharakam namami radhikadhipam Dhananjaya jayavaham mahachamukshayavaham Pitamaha vyathapaham namami radhikadhipam Mundindra shapa karanam yaju prajapaharanam Dhara bharavataranam namami radhikadhipam Subrikshamula shayinam rigari mokshadayinam Swakiya dhama mayinam namami radhikadhipam Idam samahito hitam varashtakam sada muda Yapan janur jaraditu drutang pramuchyate Iti Sri Paramhans Brahmanand Virachitam Krishna Ashtakam Sampurnam Govindai Namo Namaha Bol Vrindavan Sri Krishna Chandra ki. And now there is what we refer to as a stotra, but this stotra is comprised of the 12 names of Bhagavan Sri Krishna, or I should say 12 of the names of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Very powerful stotra, so I invite you to continue to concentrate on Bhagavan Sri Krishna as we perform Krishna Dvadash Nam Stotram. Sri Krishna Uvach Kingte Nam Sahastrena Vigyatena Tavarjuna Tani Namani Vigyaya Naraha Papahe Pramuchyate Prathamam tu Haring Vindyat Dvitiyang Keshavam Tatha Tritiyang Padmanabham Cha Chaturtham Vamanam Smarit Panchamam Veda Garbha tu Shashtham Cha Madhusudana Saptamam Vasudevam Cha Varaham Chashtamam Tatha Navamam Pundarika Aksham Dashamam tu Janardanam Krishnam Ekadasham Vindyat Dvadasham Sri Dharam Tatha Etani Dvadashanamani Vishnu Prokti Vidhiyate Sayang Prata Pathe Nityam Tasya Punya Phalam Srinu Chandrayana Sahasrani Kanyadana Shatani Cha Ashwamedha Sahasrani Phalam Prapnotya Sangshayaha Amayang Purnamasyang Cha Dvadashyang tu Visheshataha Pratah Kali Pathe Nityam Sarva Papahe Pramuchyate Om iti Sriman Mahabharat Aranya Parvani Krishna Dvadash Nam Stotam Sampurnam Om Yang Brahma Varuninda Rudra Martah Swanavanti Dibhyaistavai Vedehe Sangha Parkramopanashadair Gayanti Yang Samaga Dhyana Vascha Tadgate Namansa Pashyamti Yang Yogino Yasyantang Na Vidho Sura Surgana Devaye Tasmai Namaha Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Bole Vrindavan Sri Krishna Chandra ki. Devotees, Govardhan Puja. Very, very important and very popular, very meaningful. As all other rituals in Hinduism, there are different dimensions. So you have the psychological dimension, you have the religious part of it, where we worship Bhagavan Sri Krishna. But let us go to the story briefly, where they said Indra, the king of the Devatas, once wanted to test Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Indra was confused. How could this child be the Lord in human form? And up to today, many people ask such questions. How could an ordinary child be God in this form? Or, put it the other way, how and why would God come in this form when He can do everything without a form? So many questions cloud the mind, and we become confused. Indra, he was carried away, one, because of his position, the king of the Devatas. And we all know power corrupts, absolute power corrupts absolutely. When people are in elevated positions, they tend to lose touch with spirituality. And Indra, he lost touch. He couldn't recognize divinity. And mind you, the very ordinary, simple people of Gokulapuri, the cowherds and cowherdesses, they recognized Bhagavan Sri Krishna. They bonded with him. But Indra, the king of the Devatas, he couldn't understand. Who is this Krishna? Who is this Krishna? So, strange situation. It was the day after Diwali, which is like today. The day after Diwali. In the village of Vraj, a lot of preparations were being made to perform a puja. Bhagavan Sri Krishna went to his mother and he asked, and notice the Lord's attitude. When you don't know something, you must ask, and ask authoritative figures. He asked his mother, Mata, just yesterday, so many preparations, a lot of wonderful, luscious dishes were prepared and so on. Pujas were done. There was celebration of Diwali yesterday. But today I am seeing more preparations being done. Which Devta are we going to worship? And now he asks questions. Which Devta or which God are we going to worship? What is the benefit of such a worship? How should such a worship be done? Is this worship that we are about to do Lokriti, a universal practice, Gaon Riti, a village practice, Kul Riti, ancestral practice, or is it Naya Naya, something new? Now, these questions are perfectly in order, we need to understand. All the practices can be categorized. Some are universal practices, some are practices unique to a particular ancestry, some are practices unique to a particular village. And also, Bhagavan Krishna was fully aware that a lot of people, they create new things. On a daily basis, new things are created to attract man's mind. So he wanted to know, is this something new? Oh, mother, please tell me. And you must bear in mind, it is said, mother is first teacher. Mata Pratham Guru. Also we understand Matri Deva Bhava. Mother is our first God. So the child naturally will go to the mother first. But the mother was very busy making preparations. So she said, oh Krishna, I'm very busy. Go and ask your father. Now, I must add something here. Yashoda had confidence in Nand Baba being able to answer the questions. I am asking you today, mothers, sisters and daughters, how many of you have confidence in that if you send your children to the father or to your husband and ask certain questions, is he in a position to answer these questions? Think. But even before that, are you in a position to answer these questions? You see, we perpetuate the traditions, all these wonderful practices, the value systems, from generation to generation, but we first have to know them. And if we are ignorant of these practices, what are we going to teach the children? And time and again, Bhagavan Krishna is showing, the children question us. And therefore we must be in a position to answer and answer constructively. Now, we all know that many times the answers coming what? It's a good thing to do. Or it's bad, don't do it. But no reason why it's good or bad. Or shut up, don't ask any questions. This is how we respond, many of us, because of our own ignorance. But look at the difference. Bhagavan Sri Krishna was sent to his father. Yashoda Maya had confidence in Nand Baba. Bhagavan Krishna went to his father and repeated the questions. Oh father, why are we doing today's celebration? Then the father said, oh Krishna, today we are doing Indra Puja. Then Bhagavan Sri Krishna asked, oh father, who is Indra? Why do we have to worship him? Then the father said, Nand Baba said, oh Krishna, Indra is the god of rain. So when we worship him, he showers rain. We are farmers, dairy farmers. We depend upon the rivers, upon the fertility of the soil, so that when rains fall, there's fertility, and so we're able to take care of ourselves. So we worship Indra. So he'll be beneficent. He'll be graceful towards us. The father stated his point. Bhagavan Sri Krishna said, oh father, I beg to differ in opinion. Now this is outrageous as far as many people are concerned. If your child tells you, Mama, I don't believe that, most of us would pass a slap or two. Because we cannot handle it. But devotees, Nand Baba, and our scriptures teach us. He said, oh Krishna, what is your opinion? And we keep saying that children and people too, they have opinions. And it's good to listen to them. Perhaps they may bring out a better idea than many of the adults who may be caught up in a time warp. But let's not go there. Bhagavan Sri Krishna said, "Oh Father, what I am aware of is that, water evaporates, goes up, it forms clouds, collect more vapor, and goes over the mountain. The higher it goes, the clouds, the cooler it becomes, and it condenses and falls as rain. So, oh Father, I have a problem. Where does Indra come in here?" And by the way, this is simply put the water cycle. In Bhagavad Mahapuran, documented more than 1500 years ago. All this is in Hindu scriptures. So, Bhagavan Sri Krishna said, "Oh Father, this is what I understand, how the rains fall. How does Indra come in here? How does he come in here? Oh Father, if that is your reason because of rain, I want to suggest that we worship the mountain Govardhan." That mountain Govardhan was in the village of Vraj. Bhagavan Sri Krishna said, "Oh Father, the clouds are forced to rise over this mountain Govardhan, and so they condense. So if anybody is to be worshipped, if anything is to be worshipped, it should be the mountain Govardhan, for the mountain causes the rain." Now, if I am not convincing, because I am me, Bhagavan Krishna was very convincing, because he is He is the Lord. They all agreed. And so they collected all the ingredients, and they went to that mountain Govardhan, and there they performed puja, worship. As up to today we do it. We have replicas of Govardhan, and people offer their dahi and their sweetmeats. Sweetmeats is not meat cooking sugar. Sweetmeats, Indian sweetmeats, laddu, pewa, gulab jamun, kachauri, pakauri, lakauri, all the different things they made. And with great joy in their hearts, ladies beautifully dressed, men just as best as they could, they all went to that mountain and began to make offerings. And you know what? Bhagavan Krishna is in a form outside, encouraging them, offer. And out of the mountain he assumed another form, he appeared there, and he began to consume all that was offered. And those simple people, you know what he said? "All these years we have been doing Indra Puja, we have never seen Indra. Today we are doing Govardhan Puja, look, he has appeared. He's eating everything we are offering." But this is not amazing to those who know devotees. "Patram pushpam phalam toyam yomi bhakta prayachati tadaham bhaktu pahritam ashnami paritatmanaha." Bhagavan Sri Krishna says, "Whosoever offered to me whatsoever, be it a flower, a fruit, a drop of water, a grain of rice, but with love and in a disinterested spirit, I personally appear to partake of that which is offered to me by that devotee of purified intellect." Bhagavan Sri Krishna stated that. Now devotees, if I may take a dig at you, how many years we do Govardhan Puja? Krishna Bhagavan ever appeared to eat your prasad? Huh? If not, why not? More than 5,000 years ago, he appeared. And he ate all the prasad and so on. And everybody very, very happy. Govardhan Giridhari, ecstatic. They went back into their village. That today we have done something, and amazing. Govardhan appeared himself and he partook of everything. But devotees didn't think at that point in time that every single atom of creation is provided by Krishna. He is the Supreme Lord. Indra, the king of the Devatas, he now full of gaman, false pride. He said, "Those idiots are supposed to worship me." And based on the advice of that idiot Krishna, he was the idiot, but he called him Krishna the idiot. Yeah? What a man is, that's what he sees others to be. Yeah. He said, "That idiot, Krishna guided them to worship a mountain, I will do for them." So what happened? Other story says, he collected all the winds. He called his major disciple, whose name was Sanvartak, and said, "Sanvartak, collect all the winds, collect all the clouds, and shower, rain, bucket a drop, only in that village of Vraj, 24 miles circumference. Drown all those idiots and drown Krishna also." You see, when a person blinded by position and pride, he can't think straight. These are lessons, devotees, practical. And nobody could teach them. They know. So devotees, daytime, by the time these people reached back, place became dark. How yesterday was. But yesterday was a joke compared to what it was at that point in time. Dark clouds, breeze began to from different directions, and then the clouds burst. And rains, as we say, bucket a drop. Huge drops falling, even the cows were flinching when these drops of water hit them. And now the Yamuna began to rise. Waters rising everywhere, flood waters. Place became like if, total destruction imminent. End of the world. And now the people began to grumble. Now this is what happened to people. They went and did everything okay. Now from the time trouble come, hear them. You see, we listen to the child Christian. What he know? We shouldn't do this. We shouldn't listen to the child. They wavered. And devotees, this is human attitude. From the time a challenge comes, people begin to waver. Begin to waver. You lose belief and confidence in what you do. That should never be. There are those again who said, no. Krishna is never wrong. Krishna has guided us in the past through so many calamities. Let's go to him and seek his protective shelter. So you always have sane people amongst all the madness that exists. People who are stable, dhriti, constancy. They're not like frogs jumping from pond to pond. Constancy. They went back to Krishna and said, oh Lord, look, this is what is happening. Please protect us. Please protect us, O Lord. And Krishna Bhagwan, he knew his devotee's heart. And he said, okay, back to Mount Govardhan. And they all repaired to that Mount Govardhan. When he reached there, Bhagwan Sri Krishna, it said, took his left hand, and his mystical word, or words, Sanskrit is Soham. In English, in Hindi they say, Main hu. I am. And devotees, you see, I am, that is a very, very powerful term. Very, very powerful term. In Christian theology, you hear it say, Christ said, I am the I am. Ask them what they mean. Aham, soham, I am, pure subjectivity. I am what? I am, pure subjectivity, no object, non-duality. So this is Bhagavan Sri Krishna Maha Mantra, soham, and he uplifted that mountain. All were amazed. And he said, everybody come under the mountain. And they all went under that mountain and stood there. And all the old fellas with their little love hunting, they had a little stick and then they walk with. They try to pop up the mountain with the stick. A mountain pop up, a stick will pop up a mountain. But you see, the bhav, the feelings. And for 7 days and 7 nights, it is said, devotees, rain showered. And for 7 days and 7 nights, Bhagavan upheld that mountain. Everybody sitting around him. Nobody was sleepy. Nobody was thirsty. Nobody was hungry. You know why? When you are absorbed in divinity, these ordinary things don't affect you. You don't feel sleepy. You don't feel tired. You don't feel hungry, nor thirsty. And I like to make this point because many people in today's world, they go to temples, they go to pujas, they go to yajna. And they walk with a water bottle, as I keep saying, like they go to jog. Sometimes the Baba himself, drinking down too bad. What is it? Where is he focused? On your belly or on divinity? But that's a different story. For 7 days and 7 nights, they were sustained by Bhagavan Sri Krishna. And devotees, at the end of 7 days, Sanvartak was told by Indra, okay, clear up. Let's look and see now. All those gavad, all those idiots should be corpses floating away, carcasses. But devotees, when the rain stopped, sun came out, Bhagavan Sri Krishna. It is said he sank chakra gada parama, Chaturbhuj Vishnu Bhagavan. He that chakra in his right hand index finger. It is said he released it. And in the twinkle of an eye, it went and dried up all the waters. Nowhere had any kind of flood, any kind of mud. Everything was perfectly dry as it was 7 days before. And then Bhagavan told everybody, move out from underneath the mountain. And he put the mountain down. But devotees, this was something he promised that mountain before that, in Sri Ram's avatar, when he told that mountain to remain where you are meditating upon me, and I shall uplift you for 7 days and 7 nights, and the 3 worlds shall sing your praises together with mine. Govardhan Giridhari. So devotee Bhagavan fulfilled his word. Indra, when he looked around devotees, he saw everybody clapping, singing, dancing. Dekho, Vrindavan ki kunj meri nache Nan Kumar. Everybody clapping, singing, dancing. no corpses, no carcasses, nothing, no destruction, everything normal. Then Indra was puzzled. How could this be? They were all supposed to be dead. But devotees, man proposes, God disposes and exposes. It's most supreme force, the Supreme Lord. Devotees, Indra was, should I say, humbled, or was he humiliated? Whichever one. He realized that he made a bad mistake. And he appeared before Bhagavan Sri Krishna. And he begged forgiveness. That, oh Lord, I was carried away because of my position. Forgive me. And do not allow your negativities to contaminate, any negativities to contaminate my mind. Prabhuji Mori Avagunchit Nadharo. He begged. And Bhagavan said, oh Indra, you are in an elevated position. Don't get carried away. As we put it in simple terms, even if your head in the clouds, keep your feet on the ground. Because that is where you're going to go one day to come. And so devotees, Indra was transformed. And they said, from then to now, Bhagavan Krishna gave his word that whoever performs Govardhan Puja, they will gain great merits and they'll unfold spiritually and elevate intellectually and otherwise to great heights. This is what the story tells us. So devotees, I take a different view of it now. Everything we do as usual, all Hindu rituals have a deeper meaning. Govardhan represents the mountain of mental advancement, yoga. The second chapter of the Gita, Bhagavan Sri Krishna told Arjuna, oh Arjuna, I'm going to relate to you that yoga which died over the years. From father to son it was passed down and ultimately it died. I'm going to renew that yoga. What was that yoga, devotees? Karma yoga. Karma yoga. What is yoga? Yoga means union with God, to put it simply. Karma, action that is performed to bring us in union with God. This is what it's supposed to be. Now devotees, karma never stops. Karma never stops. Even what Indra did was karma. But was it karam yoga? One may say it was karam bhog or karam rog. It wasn't yoga. So what has happened? Karma existed. Everybody doing things but for selfish reasons. That is not yoga. When Bhagavan said, I have come to re-establish that yoga, this is what he meant. To re-establish karam yoga. To bring back the yoga into karma. To get the karam yoga. And so devotees, to put it simply, the waters all around represent the waters of sensuality. Indra, Indriya, the senses. These senses of ours, they gravitate towards materialism. We are buffeted by the waters of sensuality and we don't even recognize it. Devotees, we are drowning. And what happens? Intellectually, yoga, the mountain of yoga, the mountain of mental advancement sinks into the waters of sensuality. And what we are advised, by worshipping Bhagavan Krishna, understanding what it is all about, the right intent behind our actions, that mountain is uplifted. In a simple way I'm putting it to you. The mountain of mental advancement is uplifted, especially in this age Kali Yuga, when there's only foolishness on all sides. There isn't yoga, mob, hog and rogue. But Bhagavan says, you have to get back to what Karam Yoga is all about. And when we worship in this way, this is one of the media through which we can attempt to uplift that mountain, Govardhan Puja. In other words, devotees, we need to understand, I worship, what is the purpose of my worship? I want to attain that oneness with that Lord. I want to conquer Indra. I want to conquer the Indriyas. I want to get beyond the waters of sensuality. I want to be free. Now I am saying that, I don't know about you, because many people worship and they worship for more material things. God give me this, God give me that. God, tonight is 34 million. I have a quick pick. I hope I win. You win and bandits chasing you all over the place. You sink. Instead of yoga, there's bhog. Devotees, these rituals of ours have a deeper meaning. And just in a nutshell, I'm putting to all of us, in this age, we need to uplift that mountain of yoga. It is sinking in the ocean, in the waters of sensuality. Think, how many of us honestly and sincerely perform all these actions because we want to attain to that oneness with God? We want to rise beyond the ocean of duality. How many of us? Honestly, ask yourself. And to me, I believe very, very few, if any at all. Very, very few. So a karma yoga in itself is still dead. It's still dead. Karma is there, but yoga is not there. We need to bring back the yoga to karma. And this is what we mean by uplifting this mountain out of that water that will protect us. So devotees, we have performed Govardhan Puja. And as we go forward in life, yesterday, Lakshmi Puja, goddess of light, Gyan, enlightenment. From enlightenment comes mental advancement, yoga. This is why, chronologically, one of the reasons why these celebrations follow each other. It is not just fashion, commercialization, socialization. All those things are good. But the spiritual aspect is important. And for each individual, bring it back into your life. Understand what Govardhan Puja means. Understand it in reality. For if we are here next year again, we're going to do it. As long as we are here, we're going to do it. But we must keep asking, is the mountain being uplifted or is it still drowning? Where is it? Bole Vrindavan Sri Krishna Chandra ki.
Om Jai Swaha Mata, Maya Jai Swaha Mata. तुम अग्नि की शक्ति, तुम अग्नि की शक्ति, तुम सच्ची माँ